Everybody ready?
Yes.
Everybody.
We must be one.
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 Welcome to the Hughes Roundtable.
Everybody.
Welcome, y'all.
Welcome.
We have a guest here today that we've been trying to get on
Yes.
for a while, and our schedules finally, everybody got on one accord.
Mm-hmm.
We have Doreatha Reid here with us today.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, we
Yes,
appreciate
it's a
you
pleasure.
coming and doing this. This is the Hughes Roundtable, and this lady is a powerhouse in the ministry. That's what she probably don't want me to say that or don't like it, but the work that she's doing in Columbus, Ohio, and throughout is marvelous. Doreatha, tell us a little bit about what you're doing.
Well, currently, back in 2014, the Lord, after I came out of seminary, He said, "Go to the streets," and I'm like, "Okay, God, what does that mean?" And I was obedient, with hesitation, with having over $100,000 student loan debt, and I'm like, "Okay, God, and make it clear, what is the name?" He said, "You already have the name. Look at your license plates." And my license plates was BBless too.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's a little bit of the history. So in doing so, it was a debit card that was given that I went to Sam's Club and bought a cart, some water, and some crackers, and began to go out into the streets with my granddaughter Ariel, Millie Gordon, pastor's sister, and her daughter Ashley, and we went around driving in my vehicle, and just saw the people just was reaching in the trash, hungry, and we offered them water and crackers. And I began to follow a ministry called the Rising Star Ministry out of Canal, Winchester, because they would come over to Columbus. And I'm like, okay, this is new to me. I needed to get familiar about what I'm doing. And I looked at their vehicle. Their vehicle was so organized, and they welcomed me. They wasn't fearful. Sometimes people can get territorial with ministry. They welcomed me, and then other ministries like Heaven Saints, they welcomed and they taught me in what to do and how to react to the people and not be afraid of them. We would venture up into the camps. We would just love on people. So my car was getting overwhelmed. People from the church and other ministries just began to donate clothes and toiletries. As we began to get advice of what is needed out there, a pillow. You would think a pillow, we would take that for granted. We'd think toilet paper for granted.
Yeah.
And so that's how we kind of got started, just with the water and crackers and a wagon, just going up down High Street. And I remember one man in particular, he was reaching in the trash, and that burdened my heart. He's reaching in the trash. It was August, and it was very humid, so we had some cold water, to offer them. So it grew. We were going out every Saturday. And then after we continued to go out every Saturday, I think in 2015, someone called and offered us 2 mobile homes.
2 mobile homes.
And with those 2 mobile homes, we were able to transition them into transition homes for those working homeless people that are living in their cars. We're living in their cars, not able to afford rent, may have had an eviction on them and cannot get a decent place to stay. So with our trailers, we began to ask people for donations for furniture because we wanted them to walk into a ready, fixed home
Yeah.
with dishes. And we started offering food at the first time, when we, so they can just be comfortable, with bedding and sheets and toiletries and just everything to come in and just be able to sleep. And God has blessed that. So that's been a miracle, and that's a blessing. So within the same year of 2015, the Rising Sun Ministry called and said, "Do you want a vehicle?" And I'm like, "Okay, we don't have any money to buy a vehicle." They said, "We're not asking to buy. We want to give it to you because," and I'm like, "Okay." So they gave us our first truck.
Wow.
Okay, with the totes and blankets on it. And a young lady at Kids Care Academy, Jessica Smith, never forget, she drew our logo on the truck.
Oh, really?
Yes, she hand drew that logo. Actually, she was the artist that actually came up with what I wanted, because I wanted the hands of God to be reaching out to the people, So that was just a blessing within itself.
That's
So
good.
that's how we got our first truck. So it's a story later. I'll tell you about the second truck. So,
Oh, I
Yeah.
think I've seen the first one.
yes,
So you have another truck.
we have two out there.
Oh, I
on
didn't
G.
know
Yes.
that you have. I wanted to ask you, our friend Deacon Hicks, who's going on to be with the Lord, um, did work in the trailer homes. How many trailer homes do you have now?
We have 4 currently.
4 currently. And I was talking to you about remember we was going to give you the washer and dryer,
Yes.
but they weren't ready to receive
Right.
those homes
Right.
there. Are they ready now?
We have only one of our units they only have 2 bedrooms, let me say that.
Oh, okay.
So one of the bedrooms and one of the trailers have a washer and dryer.
Okay.
And so that's the one unit. The other units, if we would take that up, they won't have enough space.
They won't have enough space.
So the rooms are small. It is one of our units that has a washer and dryer connection in the bathroom, but I don't know. We need to measure. We would need to measure to see if that is something that can fit into the unit. But also because the program fee that they pay, because they have to pay. We're not funded.
Yeah, you was telling me that.
We're the donations that we take in, and their program fee helps pay for the lot fee, the trash, the water, the sewer, and the electricity and gas if they have gas. So we have to kind of monitor that because if it's all electrical, you can imagine the bill is in the wintertime is really off the chain. But God has been faithful. This is 2019, so that means we've been going for about 4 years for our trailers, which is a blessing. So but it has not been easy. Okay.
Well, speak to some of that. What has been the most difficult things that you faced in? Wait a minute. Let me go back. When you say it hasn't been difficult, let's speak to the reluctancy of even getting into ministry. One of the most powerful things to do and hardest, I would think, in the day and age we're living in, is to go to these streets and talk to homeless people and help homeless people. Because Nina Michaela has worked with you, and you visit maybe 3 or 4 sites?
3. We go to 3 locations.
Okay.
Now, first and third Saturday of every month.
First and third Saturday of every month.
Every year round, we do not cancel.
They do not cancel.
They need consistency, and that's what we provide is consistency. The only time we haven't went out is when we're having our Showers of Love event, and when we had Deacon Hicks homegoing service.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the only time that we have missed going out.
Yeah. Now you want to give those locations where you?
We go to Mound Street. No, our first location we go to is actually on Broad Street to the Pierce Center. We use their lot. We've been around where other people have moved us off because sometimes they can become very challenging because of mental or drug use or whatever. If fights break out, and they have, and we've been in the midst of it, no harm to any one of our groups, but some of the locations been asked to move. One of the things that they're doing with Franklinton, I believe, if I'm pronouncing it correct, they're building that up, so they're pushing the homeless people out, and they don't have anywhere really to go. So we talked to those at the Pierce Center to see if we can come and serve. And one of the things that they asked, that we don't have church on that property, and we have to know as the church, that's okay.
That's okay.
We don't have to go, and I don't have to go Abashata. I don't have to go do that.
Right.
We're going to serve. So we have to change our mindset from the church that when we go, is that we're going to minister to people that don't have a clue.
Yeah, right.
So they have to see love. And to see love, they have to be able to identify that we're not here to harm you. We're just here to love you. And the church jargon that we use, they don't need to know that. They need to see Jesus. And that's all we do. Because when I first got started, I was so excited. I called pastor and, okay, can we get them baptized, and can we do this? And the Holy Spirit said, I didn't tell you to do that. I told you to love them. Just love them. You know, because I have a picture of one guy over going into the water, not a New Covenant, I forgot the church, but it was just amazing. He was willing to be baptized, but he had to go back to the same way of living. And here I'm going home, you know, to my warm comfort, but they're going to the street. Yes, they need Jesus, but they need to see Jesus. You know?
Can you speak to what that looks like? What does love look like, even when you're trying to help somebody, and that help might offend them in some kind of ways, because it's not easy for people to take help. So what does love look like when you're loving on a homeless person?
Well, first of all, you have to be genuine, and they can discern that, okay, at all costs. So one of the things that we teach and train our volunteers, you do not come with a prejudged judgment, okay? We don't need to ask them why you're here. We don't need to know how they got here. All we need to know is, how can I help you? What do you need? Okay, do you need toilet paper? Do you need deodorant? Do you need soap? What do you need? And that's the way we approach them. Now, we do have some people that'll come and say, well, I need this and you don't have that.
Right.
Well, my response is, if it wasn't donated to us, we do apologize. I don't get defensive with them, and I don't get, where I'm trying to struggle back with words. That's not what we do. We still have to show love. So even if they get agitated with us because what we don't have, one of the challenge we had this past week, it was a young man that was standing there that has been to our Showers of Love event, and he needed a black T-shirt. Well, we didn't have a black T-shirt. They were trying to give him a white. He didn't want a white. So I heard his frustration in his voice. I could hear it. So I kindly stepped over to the truck and said, can I do this here? If you can take what they have, I can bring you back tomorrow a shirt. It calmed him down because he was getting ready to get agitated. And so we have to have wisdom and to be able to have discernment when people are frustrated. Maybe he was on medication, I don't know. But we have to be able to look beyond what's going on and see what's really going on.
Yeah.
All he needed was a shirt, and maybe he wanted a dark shirt for whatever reason, and that's none of my business.
Yeah.
Okay, we're there to serve. So we have to have that servant attitude. We're here to serve. That's all.
Yeah.
You know, and they're frustrated.
Yeah.
They can get mad or territorial because you gave them some crackers and you gave them some chips. They can get there that way. So that's why if we're gonna give something, we're gonna give it to all.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna give a book bag, backpacks or book bags out, guess what? We have to have enough. If we don't have enough, we won't give them out. If they come up and ask, you know, like we give propane, the small propane tanks. We give them to select people because everybody's not in need of a propane tank.
Yeah.
Okay, because some of them are cooking outside, and you know, some of them are keeping warm with it. You know, not now, but they cook with their propane, so they have a little stove, and you know, and they may live in a shanty someplace. So yes.
Yeah. So how do you as far as ministering, how do you go about not saying this is my language, saying real basically just judging? You know, how do you throughout, you said you've been doing this for 4 years?
Yes.
How do you go through ministry? And I think this can be an example to people dealing with unsaved people, period. How do you manage that?
Not judging. Well, you know, one of the things is that the Holy Spirit has to really kind of teach us how. He didn't judge us.
Right.
He hasn't. He loved us. He loves us back to life. That's what we have to do. It's very simple. But we always want to say, well, they should, they need to, they ought to, they need to change their mindset. But guess what? My mindset at one point needed to be changed.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's true.
And someone loved me back to life.
Yeah.
To whereas, okay, so my question to the volunteers, do we trust God? Do we trust the Holy Spirit to do the work that he has said that he would do? You know, so we're out here serving, and as we're serving, we just can't just look at them and say, it's a waste of time, it's a waste of money, it's a waste of energy. You know, he said, the word said the poor will be with us always.
Always.
Yes.
Even though our society tries to get rid of them, they're going to be with us always. So we are to be able to accommodate, you know, and so to judge them, no, because we don't know their story.
Right.
We don't know their pain, you know, and when you listen to some of their stories, you'd be like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, because I know my story.
Yeah.
I know my story is very interesting, you know, and it's by only God's grace that it's not me.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
And so I have to take that in consideration. So when they approach us with anger, I have to look beyond that anger and say they're frustrated, they're hurt, they're living in life circumstances that they had no choice. Okay. Maybe they made the wrong choice. Maybe we don't know. But is that for me to know, to say, I love you? That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what we do.
So the volunteer that is helping you, they can't be that type of person that has the mentality of saying, pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
No.
They can't do that.
No, and then the other thing that they can't do, sometimes they can get a little bit aggressive with them, and then that's when I step in and said, okay, and they get upset with me because they're like, okay, we just gave her a blanket last week. I'm like, okay, that's okay. It's okay. You know, don't know what happened. One of the things out there that we became aware of, it is a struggle. Some of the tents get cut up. Some of the things get stolen. Some of the okay, so they don't have. So if they leave their campsite, somebody may have stolen that. I was wondering, why are you keep asking me for shoes over and over? I just gave you a pair of shoes. What are they doing? Walking. How long is a pair of shoes gonna last? Tennis shoes that's used, not new. Okay, they're already used. How long is that gonna last them? So I had to change my mindset. So through this process, the Lord started teaching me that you have to realize it's a process. It takes time. So give it to them. People are giving you, you have more than enough. I remember a time we didn't have enough, but we have jeans, we have toilet paper, we may have to go buy some deodorant, some lotions, but we have. And Sister Sherry Young says one thing. She says, a clutch fist, you can't get anything in. But if you open up, you can get the blessings of God. We're going to give it away.
Yeah.
Why? Because people have given us. So they need. So that's the blessing. And the consistency is what they look for. So they know we're coming. They know we write down if it's, I need a size 10 tennis shoe. We're going to work on seeing if we can find them a size 10 tennis shoe.
So you had to learn. You was just being obedient. You got into that ministry, and you had to learn about the ministry as you had to learn about yourself and the ministry as you went.
Correct.
Sounds like that to me. It's unbelievable when people,
Yeah, I had no clue, and I still say today, Lord, I don't know what I'm doing.
Wow.
And I don't. It's no way in the world that I knew that this would be the ministry is where it is today.
Wow.
I just did not know that what God was doing. And I remember Millie calling me, Doreatha, I got to talk to Howard. She's talking about her brother, just to tell him what's going on out here.
Wow.
And so Millie taught me one thing. She taught me how to do a good yard sale so we can raise revenue.
Wow.
Okay, I never did a yard sale in my life, but our first yard sale, I think we did almost $1,400 on one day, just one day.
Wow, that's good.
Yes, so that's God again. And so we're still doing the traditional yard sales, but it's a lot of work just as a fundraiser to help accommodate the needs and the financial needs for the ministry.
So while you're talking about how you obtain everything, do you have it set, the church, your volunteers know about it? How do you get word out to other people so that you can receive, toiletries, you're talking about lotion and deodorant? Is there anything that you have set up so that people know that the work that you're doing for the homeless, that you're still in need of things so that you can get donations? Is there a way to contact you, or how does that work?
Well, we're on Facebook.
Okay.
Okay, BBless 2, BBless 2 Outreach Ministries.
Okay.
We also have a website, which is and I have to cheat, www.bbless2, BBless2outreach.com.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So for those that are listening and watching, you have the information where you can sow into a ministry. And, we don't know who we may know, who we have come across. And like you said, by the grace of God, any of that could be us.
Yeah.
So if you have the opportunity, when you are blessing someone else that is doing God's work, we don't look for him to do something. That is his nature, who he is and what he does, because he's a loving God. But Doreatha has given the information for BBless 2 Ministries. So if you're able to, and even if it's a sacrifice for you to do so, you have the information, pour out into a ministry that's doing something, because we all belong to God. Yeah. We're all his children, and help out to do what the work of the Lord wants done, and watch and see what the Lord will do.
Yeah.
Hi, it's Michaela. As always, we thank you for your love, support, and for watching our videos. As always, remember to subscribe and share with a friend. If you're interested in Doreatha Reid's ministry, BBless 2, her information will be in the description, so make sure to support. Thank you so much. Bye.
Everybody ready?
Yes.
Everybody.
We must be one.
Everybody.